G'day guys and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to do my tips for round 9. Round 8 is still in play, but I've got a busy night ahead. On the Monday night I've got to watch the Cats play. I've got a podcast before that, so it's all happening. I'll get them in nice and early. A look at this week, I think I went okay. I tipped the Dogs, I tipped the Tigers sadly, tipped the Blues, tipped the Swans, the Power. Yes, it looks to be about a 7 out of, I don't know, so probably a 6 or a 5 out of 8 so far. Let's see what I got wrong. The Tigers wrong, and I've got the Saints wrong, and I've got the rest right. So I've got 6 out of 8 so far. Hopefully we can make it 7 from 9. And we will go into round 9, which is every week's tough. I keep waiting for an easy round, but no round's easy with no home ground advantages. We've got the Dogs and the Tigers to start us off at Metricon Stadium. I'm going to back in the Tigers once again to get the job done. Dogs only just go over the line against the Suns, and they're a little bit sort of hit and miss. The Tigers' system is pretty good. They kicked themselves out of it last week against GWS. They kicked it a bit straight. They probably win. If Lynch and Rio actually play well, they might win. Yeah, but the Dogs do have a decent record against them. But I'm going the Tigers, probably a couple of goals. Going to be a close one. Melbourne have Port Adelaide at the Gabba. Melbourne obviously went down to Brisbane only just, and Port Adelaide, they were disappointing against the Saints. But I think the Power are good enough to bounce back here. 4-goal win over the D's. I reckon they can bounce back, and they're arguably one of the best teams in the competition. So we'll see. This will be a good test for both clubs, though. It will be tough and tricky for sure. Carlton have Optus Stadium featuring Hawthorn. So they travel over the west, and as we know, the Hawks have been very disappointing. 4 disappointing losses in a row. Will be very interesting to see if Clarko plays the kids. So I think now's the time the Hawks have to rebuild. They're in no man's land. They've got the second oldest list, and they're playing not very good football at all. Not competitive. I think Carlton they obviously got over the line against the Brews. They're more consistent, and they have the ability to score. So hopefully Mackay's back. McGovern's out, which will hurt a bit, but well, depending on what scans come back with. I may change this one, but I would say I'll be sticking fat with the Blues. Essendon have Brisbane, and this one's a Metricon. I think the Lions will win here, probably 5-goal margin. I think the Bombers pretty lucky to beat the Crows last week, and it depends on who the Bombers have back as well. They've got a fair few out, but they are good enough to get the win over the Crows, and the Lions were good enough just to get the win over Melbourne as well. So some tight finishes there, but I think the Lions too good. North Melbourne have Adelaide at Metricon Stadium. This is a really tough game. Initially, I was thinking North, but Adelaide have been playing better football. I'm going to go Adelaide. I reckon, but then they can't possibly lose 7 in a row. I think if Adelaide are going to win one, it's going to be this one. So I'm going to go the Crows. They're showing better signs, and yeah, I mean, we'll see how they go without Brad Crouch. Yeah, only because they're on the up and they're playing better football. But yeah, anyone's game here, that's for sure. I really don't know that one. St Kilda have Sydney at the Gabba, and I like what the Saints have been doing. A couple of really impressive wins over in South Australia, so I'm going to back them in to win by a couple of goals. Sydney haven't been easy beats of late, so and they've been playing decent footy since that Richmond game, so will be a tough game to pick, but I think the Saints just. West Coast and Geelong at Optus Stadium. I think this is the easiest game to pick all year. One of the easiest. I think West Coast very, very comfortably. We saw what they did to the Pies, and the Pies are better team than the Cats, so the Cats could be in for a big loss. I'm thinking probably that 8 or 9 goal margin, but see what happens. See what the Eagles bring up. Gold Coast have GWS at Metricon Stadium, and this is a tricky game, but I trust the Giants just a touch more. I don't really trust them much. I'll tell you what, 6 out of 8 games this year I've tipped incorrectly with the Giants. I've only tipped them right with the Cats and the Hawks, but I'm backing them in. And so often I tip them, they lose. So often I don't tip them, they win. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to go the Giants in a close one. And then the Pies travel over to West to play the Dockers. Depending on unless they bet the Cats by 12 goals, I'll be tipping the Pies to get a response back and get back on the board on the winners list. They're obviously a better team and move the ball really well, and they're a good side. So see what happens there. So those are my tips for round 9, guys, and hopefully your tips are going well. And yeah, mentioning on the podcast front, I'll be recording that tonight. It'll be out tomorrow, so I'll check the link in the description below for you guys to sort of suss out some more free AFL content from myself and the fellas. So hope you enjoy, guys. Check your tips down below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for sticking around. I'll catch you on the next video.